Finding yourself. Sounds like a simple task, but how does somebody find themselves when they don't know exactly what they're feeling? I'm a 20-year-old Hispanic male currently studying in Colorado Mountain College, pursuing a degree in business administration in hopes that one day everyone that bullied me will work for me. I was born in Mexico, and to be more specific, I was born in Chalchihuites, Zacatecas. Easy to pronounce, right? It's a small town made up of about 3,000 people that rely on one source of income. And that source of income is mining. Mostly everybody in that small town lives under the poverty line, including my family. Which means that we've had our struggles of putting food on the table, having enough money to pay for bills, or having enough money to get by. Life in Mexico was incredibly difficult. But my family always had that big dream, that big American dream, to come here to the United States and live a better life. Well, 5 years after I was born, that dream became a reality. My father came to the United States, and we became citizens short afterwards. I was raised in a very religious family. Very religious, in fact, that my grandmother would perform spiritual rituals on me to keep evil spirits away from me. I'm sure she wouldn't like my taste in music because I'm a huge metalhead and horror is kind of our thing. You know that I was born in Mexico, so being raised in a Mexican family meant that the men in the family raised me to be as macho as I can possibly be. And for those of you who don't know what that means, it pretty much means that a man should show no emotion at all, keep it to themselves, and if life ever got hard, just be tough. That was me growing up. A young kid, lost. Whenever life got hard, I just acted tough. That characteristic bled into other aspects in my life. School became not my number one priority anymore. I wanted to work harder for money rather than to work smarter for a brighter future. All my relationships in high school ended in tragedy or in a disaster because the word love and the feeling love was something that was foreign to me. Then boom, I became that new kid. I transferred from Battle Mountain to Eagle Valley, and that mentality that I grew up with was challenged every single day. Bullied on a daily basis, teased for being quiet, made fun of for never speaking up. I was a very lonely soul. That loneliness turned to depression, and that depression turned into suicidal thoughts. Thoughts I never thought I would have because I believed that I was too manly, too macho, and too tough to even have those thoughts. I was scared of letting my culture down. I was scared of letting my parents down. I was scared of being labeled weak by the men in my family. But most importantly, I was scared of taking my own life. Then one day, in math class, I remember this vividly. The fire alarm sounded. And high schoolers know that when the fire alarm sounds, you leave the building and you find your friends, your group of friends. I remember that day as we were making our way outside of the building, I looked around and there was a large group of people. Everybody was talking to somebody. Everybody had somebody to be around that they knew. And me, I was alone. I remember thinking to myself that day, this is it. This is the day. This is the day I'm going to commit suicide. This is the day I'm going to kill myself because everybody bullies me, nobody likes me, and I'm torn apart. But I also had one thought that day. Those what-if thoughts. You know those thoughts that you have before you take a big risk? Maybe this is the opportunity that I'm looking for. Maybe this is going to make me genuinely happy. My what-if thought was, what if I do have a purpose? I gave that what-if thought some more action, and I went to the counselor that day. Ashamed for believing that I was one lost, lonely soul, I spilled everything out. From being lonely, to having no friends, to being bullied, to having suicidal thoughts. My parents were notified right away, and my heart sank. All that kept going through my mind was, I'm going to be disowned. Today's the day that nobody in my family is going to look at me the same, and everybody's going to think that I'm some sort of freak. Fortunately, none of that happened. I am very blessed to have two very supportive parents. I got that counselor, and that spark inside of me, that flame, shined brighter every single day that I showed raw emotion. And what did I do to get that? I took the first step. You see, opening up, crying, listening, patience, and understanding. These are skills that throughout my whole life were very foreign to me. And these are the skills that taught me how to fight depression. They taught me how to open up more. They led me to try running. They led me to love myself for who I am. But most importantly, they led me to move away from that macho characteristic. In 2017, 1,175 people committed suicide here in Colorado. 899 of those were men. It's that toxic masculinity mentality that when men have these thoughts, they're not supposed to look for help. They're not supposed to participate in self-care. They're supposed to keep it to themselves. That is what I'm here to tackle today. Don't get me wrong. I have the utmost respect for my upbringing and my culture. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be the man that I am today. But when it comes to life or death situations, I'm encouraging every man here to really take that first step in that journey of healing. Never be ashamed of making self-care a priority, no matter how that looks like for you. And I know that most men in the audience are probably looking at me saying, wow, what is this kid saying? He has more piercings than any other girl I've ever seen. I am here to stand by you and encourage you to not just be here for your family, but be here for your friends. We all love you. If you're suffering, use me as an example. You see, I was raised by this macho characteristic for so many years, and I moved away from it, and life got better. Anything is possible. Remember, you're responsible for your happiness. No one else is. So do what makes you happy and live a happy life. Thank you.